So, two quarterfinals that we've just seen come to completion. Barcelona losing at home 2-0 against Atletico. PSG winning at home in Paris against Jamie's Liverpool. We're going to talk about both of these. I think coming into that Barca-Atleti game, we kind of didn't really know what to expect. But one of the things that we did know, Thierry, was that Barcelona had been so good at home lately, yes, and Atleti had been poor away.
Exactly. And as we all know in sport, there's something that you cannot predict is taking a red card. If you take an early red card, I remember Barcelona having the tie in their hand against Paris Saint-Germain 2 years ago, and Araujo gets a red card, everything changes. You can't predict that. And then you can see the goal on that foul going down to 10 men. It's a double blow. And then obviously Solot goes and make it 2-0. Lamine Yamal was outstanding, trying to force things in. Dani Olmo wasn't bad also. But again, like I said to you before, it's not so much it's where it happened that I'm surprised, not how it happened. And I will explain later on.
Rashford did okay as well, Thierry? You were saying?
Rashford also was good at the very beginning when they were still 11v11, but Rashford should finish that. I don't know why every time he goes for power in this type of situation, he always go for laces. Hey, side foot open, it's over. But obviously it's easy to talk here when you're sitting at a desk.
But this is the big moment of the game that's completely changed the tie. Cubarsi there. Again, we talk about the high line with Barcelona. Cubarsi doesn't run back initially to get himself the right side of the attacking player. And we finally got to the right decision from the referee and the officials. And that's one blow, isn't it? Getting the red card, but an even bigger blow comes right away.
Did anybody have any issue with that, with the red card?
None.
No, it was a red card.
Whatsoever. I
think it's harsh because he tries to jump out the way, but he still makes contact.
We all call it a Reds, even when the Reds gave a yellow at the very first start, because they went to VAR to check. And if you stop someone like that, and I know it doesn't look like he did it on purpose, we all know that, but you're stopping a clear goal scoring opportunity.
There was kind of an unusual incident that I want to look at with you,
Actually,
Thierry.
not so unusual when you think about it, because... No, I'm not having a go at Kate. I'm just saying because it happened before. That's just a fact. Look, as we're going to see here, the goalkeeper gave the ball and started to play, obviously, on a goal kick, and he put his hand on the ball. That's a penalty. We've seen that before with Arsenal. That wasn't called, and because everyone was vocal about Arsenal not as you all remember, not conceding a penalty against Bayern, and it was a penalty. Boom. The year after, unfortunately for Tyrone Mings, he couldn't get away with it. So that was the first mistake, and nobody knew, whatever, people were talking. Is it a pen? It was a pen on the day.
I think there was a big stink about this afterwards. I don't want a penalty given for that.
I know, but that's the rule. I know.
No, but it is officially the rule. What I'm saying is, I remember after. That's why I was asking about the Arsenal one first and foremost. I think there was a big stink about that. If that situation happens again, that it's not given as a penalty. Have I got that right, or do we need to get Christina in?
No, but why would it not? If you put the ball down, the ball is in play, right?
No, I get
if I pass it to you and you put your hand on it.
No, I know, but we know he's not deliberately putting his hand on it to stop her. It's like a...
But I mean... he technically deliberately put his hand on it.
The thing is, though, it stops how you want to press as well, you know, because you can see him that was ready to go and then they stopped. But I take your point, Jamie, but...
Sometimes they want to take the goal kick from the wider. It's not trying to gain an advantage.
The ref blew the whistle. So if the ref blow the whistle, it's not. If the ref doesn't blow the whistle and I pass the ball and you put your hand, it's no problem, right? The ref blow the whistle. If you put your hand on it, it's a pen.
Let's go back to the one we saw.
I'm happy it wasn't given as a pen.
No, I get that.
Let's go back to the one we saw in the game today. Christina Uncle.
Christina!
Our rules expert. Right decision, wrong decision.
I still think it's a right decision. I mean, we were talking about, the Gabriel penalty in the Arsenal Bayern. And it really comes down to, and it's a thing that we talk about all the time, is, common sense and this concept of context. So, Titi, you'd hit on the head. Is this technically, and could you, by the law, be supportive to say it's a penalty kick? The answer is yes. But then now let's go into the spirit of the law and the context and impact. Right. So here he's not taking away any kind of advantage from anyone pressing. No one's pressing in this situation. They're standing on the top. I heard you say it might shift where they're changing from left to right. how quickly and how in such a small area that they do it that in. Take a look. None of the pressure, none of the shift, the moment from the left to the right even changed or occurred in that side. So this is one where I'm still on the team of the side that says, don't call this, because when you put it into context, there is no impact. There is no advantage being taken away from the other team. No defender would do this on purpose, right? With intent or being deliberate about putting their hand to give an easy penalty kick for this. And because of all of that, I'm still on team no penalty kick for this decision.
So, Christina, let me ask you a question. I usually don't ask questions. So you remember, I think it was 4 years ago when I talk about referees having common sense. I don't know if you remember.
Oh,
when
I definitely
asked
remember
that
that
it
one.
would be great if referees have common sense. Do you remember?
She said, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I 100% remember the common sense one.
And then you said to me, the law is the law. But today...
What situation was that, though?
Oh, whatever it was.
Context matters.
It's common sense. It was a football thing that we all agreed here. We said, remember, we said ex-footballers said that if you played the game, you remember, people got offended even, that if you have the common sense of an ex-football player, I'm sure you remember that, we said that it shouldn't be a foul or whatever it was, or a penalty, and you said the law is the law. But today, which I don't mind, by the way, understand me well, I don't mind. But today, common sense comes in when the law is the law.
Ooh. So, TT, I agree with you, but once again, for me, context matters, right? So when we say common sense, everything's not black and white. You know, the one thing that everyone here can agree on is offside. Technically, if you're offside by even a 1/10 of an inch, you're offside. And there's big conversations with VAR about whether we take away technical arguments out of the game, because it takes away from the love of the game. It takes away from the passion. It takes away from common sense. So here in these types of situations, context does matter, because in this situation, if prevailing and if everyone does not want to see that as a penalty kick, then we do have within the spirit of the laws to be able to say that one in this context, no one's going to fight us in. Whatever situation, I do remember the conversation, but I don't remember the context of that one.
It was a
if
pen,
it's
I
foul
think.
discrimination.
I think it was a pen.
Yeah, if it's a foul discrimination,
like
if it's a contact, yeah, that one's a bit different, because now that's so much more subjective versus this one.
So context, so the referee blows the whistle, you pass it to someone, you put your hand on it, there is common sense on that. All right, okay. Not just so I know, next time when I do a...
Yeah, no worries, it's called the art of officiating,
another game. I do prefer common sense, and by the way, I prefer that. I just want to know when common sense kick in or not over the law. That's why I'm a bit confused.
No, I can see that, but it's the art of officiating. And that's the difference, right? You guys as ex-footballers, you knew you had, Colina, right? And you all loved Colina, because guess what? He didn't referee black and white. He didn't referee like a robot. He refereed with feeling, with common sense, with personality. And that's where we've had to go a little bit further away from that, because there's more cameras on the game. There's more technology. It's turning more black and white, not because the referees choose, but because it's demanded by the stakeholders. That's where we are losing a little bit of that feel in the game from the officiating standpoint, but not because the referees don't want to do that, because the modern game is demanding that.
This one went a bit deeper than I expected.
I'm not sure. We've spent enough time. I'm not sure with that, because the biggest killer of modern day football is VAR, when someone's offside by a toenail.
But Christina said that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, so if the law is the law, surely you have to uphold the law, regardless if it's common sense or not.
It's not about whether it's handball. There's obviously a little mix-up. What I'm saying is, would you like to see the Champions League final decided on that?
No, I'm not. But that's a different point, and that's why I said I agree with you.
What I'm saying is, it's...
Yeah, but when do you decide to uphold the law, and when do you decide not to?
It's obviously a mix-up. He's not trying to gain any advantage, and he's not even trying to waste time, because when you look, the defender puts the ball down with his hand straight, and he passes it straight away. It's not like a... Listen... You can make an argument both ways. I think if a big game got decided on something like that, when it's a mix-up, no one's gained an advantage. No one's gained an advantage at all. Atletico Madrid haven't gained an advantage in sort of the play. I just think, for me, I'm with Christina on terms of, like, the spirit of the game. Almost. I mean, you keep talking about... Kalina there, Christina, but obviously in England we have Howard Webb, who's almost like in charge of the referees, and he uses a phrase that I actually like at times. So you can have the rule book, but he uses a phrase that in certain decisions the game doesn't want it. That he almost uses that line. Even though you've got a referee, it's like we might think there's a decision, but the whole game feels like something. It just doesn't feel. It feels wrong. If you understand what I mean, that's a line he uses, and I think that's what is that what you're trying to say there, Christina, in terms of a feel for the game. Do you think there'd be an outcry in the from supporters or neutral clubs if a decision like that decided a huge football game?
I mean, one side of the group will love it and the other side would hate it.
Exactly.
But this is where I kind of really lean into it. And it's always been in the laws of the game. It's called the spirit of the game. And that's what we mean by touch. That's what we mean by feel. That's what we mean by the art of refereeing. You can bend the laws from time to time a little bit when we talk about the subjective gray areas, but you can never rip the laws.
All right.
Christina, we always appreciate you coming on and knowing that your opinion may not be popular, but it's good to hear it explained.
Hey,
always
man,
good to see you.
Christina.
Go for it.
Thanks, Kay. You guys are popular. We love you all.
Love you. See you soon. I do want to take us over to Hansi Flick, who's spoken to Guillaume Balaguer, because I think it's kind of on this theme as well. So let's listen into Hansi Flick.
And I think also they deserve the red card. The goalkeeper plays the ball. It's clear play. And he stopped it with a hand. It's double yellow, and it's red card and penalty, normally, for me.
It's common sense versus the law in that one. So Atlético Madrid will tell you that the common sense says and the context says that there was no pressure. It was just retake the moment. And you're saying that the law says that if you hold the ball when this has started moving, it's a penalty.
Of course, he has the ball here. He played, and for me, it's clear. It's clear. He started the game, and for me, it's clear. I don't. Okay. It's like that. Is that? I don't. You know, it's not about this. I think we have also a chance in Atletico. We don't give up, so we will fight, and we have the quality also to win there.
We're still arguing, everyone.
Yes, we are.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes.